what I'm trying to find right now. For those of you who don't know, I'm Chris. He's Mike. This is the Chris and Mike Show. We like to talk about everything as it relates to our lives, the ups and downs, and the rock and roll, the creativity thing. I want to do a show one time in the near future where you and I work on a song. Like, that's just a show. Like, I'll have one of your riffs, and we'll build a song, construct a song to our listening audience.
That'd be awesome, man.
You know what's cool about the lyrics, man? When I find shit, you know what's cool? This is what's cool about me. Okay, fucking egotistical motherfucker. This is what's cool about me. I can
turn your preamp up just a little bit.
And okay, which one's the preamp? The second or first? First or
second? The second.
Check. Preamp is up. Is that one better?
Way better. Good? There you go. Now I can hear you.
What do you think?
Much better.
Way better. Okay. All right. So the cool thing, like, I can pull out. I was telling Mike the other day. I have a crate of lyrics, like one of those storage crates of lyrics. But this is what I found was just, I would take this to all the practices. So this is my bag. I stole it from my wife.
This is what he showed up with at the very first time we met him.
Right.
He's like, I got a little bit of material.
So I have a giant, everything since. Yeah. So this was everything that I've ever written in my crate since I started writing in high school. So it's everything from poetry to short stories to what's evolved in the music. But the cool thing, what I was going towards, I can look at lyrics that I wrote, like this. I don't remember if this is Nemesis or not, but I can look at that and automatically, the melody, just reading the words, the melody comes to my brain. Alone I sit, my sorrow is spent. Alone I sit, my sorrow is spent. I watch as the shadow steals the sky. Tomorrow came, yesterday's past. Tomorrow will soon be over. Memories pass, can't you see? Just a lie, I'm the whisper on the breeze. So shit like that. There's another one that I came off that I fucking loved that you and I worked on. That was a terrible example of this one, though. The chorus on this one, I can always pull out. This one, see if you remember this one. Paint a whisper on my shadow, dream of you, dream of tomorrow. Paint a whisper on my shadow, dream of me, dream of tomorrow.
Oh, yeah.
I lie awake, I lie awake, don't question why. I can't get you off my mind. I see your face when I close my eyes. I feel your heart, eternal lies. Paint a whisper on my shadow, dream of sorrow, dream of tomorrow. I love that song, by the way.
I did too.
The title of that, Paint a Whisper, came from a rockette. Remember the Roxette, the pop duo from Australia or something, or Sweden. They have a lyric
Roxette.
In one of their songs. Yes, they have a lyric in one of their songs that says "Paint a Whisper." I'm like, that's a fucking cool line.
That's a great
Painting
song.
A whisper, right? And that's how that's. And that's right, and that's how that song came out, was just because I like that lyric.
Oh, what was that? It could have been love, lyric. But it's over now.
Yes.
That's a great song.
And here's one of your favorites.
She died, unfortunately.
Here's one of your favorites, which is kind of cool. She did. You're not going to be able to see this. This is the original scribing of Intervention Divine.
No. That's awesome. That should be in a frame somewhere.
That's the original lyric. It's the original lyrics, man, of Intervention Divine.
I would need a legitimate producer to actually put that song together now.
Yeah, all 3 pages, man. And this same thing, I see those lyrics and I know exactly the melody. It just hits me.
That one I remember. I remember the melody of that. I just can't sing. I sing it in my head all the time.
Yeah. Yeah. Display your face of Galleries Hall. That's a good
Those
song.
are some of the best lyrics I've ever read from anyone in my life ever.
Thank you.
Oh, you know I mean that too.
So, yeah, Intervention Divine. Oh, I do. Window of Hell. Couple ones that I never put music to. King of Misery. You and I worked on Paint a Whisper. Silhouette of an Outcast. I love these lyrics. This came off an improv jam session that I totally. This would be I still have the melody in my head, but when I'm standing around with nothing to do and got no thoughts in my head, it's true. I watch the people staring back at me, wonder if they can really see reality. I never speak about what's in my mind. Tomorrow's answers will be sublime. And then the chorus, I am the forgotten one. The lonely thought left for last is a silhouette, the silhouette, the silhouette of an outcast. Silhouette
That's
of an
awesome.
outcast. I love that fucking lyric. Thank you, Mr. Mike Michaels. We're gonna put that to music. Losing All the Madness. Remember Losing All the Madness?
That was a great tune too. Yes, I do.
Oh, that was a fucking. This is relevant today, dude. Losing All the Madness. Government says we got to believe. Government says we got to see. Government says it's all lies. Government says we will deny. Topical.
Very relevant. Very.
This
topical.
is fucking 20 years old. The chorus, losing all the madness.
It's older than that.
Deep within our minds, losing all the sadness. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. I'm sorry.
It's almost 30 years old.
It's older than that. Probably. Yeah. Yeah. So chorus, losing all the madness deep within our minds, losing all the madness, killing our kind. That's twice of that chorus. And then I love this part. We've talked about this on the show, actually. Preacher man is speaking about the coming times. Preacher man, we're paying for your soul and mine. Huh?
Uh-huh.
Fatherhood demons choosing right and wrong. Killed my 2-year-old daughter just the other night. No, I ain't got no reason, man. I ain't got no rhyme. Just a can full of gasoline. I committed my crime. That was, I don't know if you remember that or not. There was a fucking asshole during our heyday that took his little girl out to the desert. Remember that? And set her on fire. Told her they were going to go see Santa Claus. Yeah.
Yep.
That's where that came from. Just the concept of that motherfucker. And then chorus goes on. Again, this is just, it is losing the madness. 13-year-old daughter. She got Johnny inside. 9 months, a week later, she strangled her child. Same time frame. There was somebody that fucking killed their baby and left it in a toilet. And
that was such a great song, dude.
Thank you. Well, we're gonna put it back together. Daddy is sleeping, so the story goes. Took her mommy away, then changed his clothes. No one really knows the reasons why. We had a great nation. Now we're destined to die. I get fucking chills when I read that shit. That's some of the shit that I wrote, man. It's just mind-blowing that it's still relevant today. Still relevant.
That's the thing that always impressed me is the way that you could put a relevant topic that still remained abstract, because I remember the day that you told Scott and I what that song was about, and I just remember a moment of silence, and all of a sudden, I don't remember who said it first, but it was just like, wow, dude, that's heavy. It's like really heavy.
Yeah.
So we knew we had to do that justice as far as the music went, which is why I remember that song so much, because it just made people sit up and pay attention,
Yeah, and I always kind of prided myself in our heyday and just in the generalization of Nemesis. I'm not going to say heyday because we were all in our prime at the time. But I never wrote songs really about partying and getting laid and going out and shit like that, because to me, it'd been there, done that. Like, we weren't Van Halen.
Correct.
That's Van Halen. The early years of Van Halen was all about partying and fucking and drinking. I never wanted to change the world, but at the same time, I wanted to write something that was relevant at the time, and never realizing that some of this shit could still be like, listen to your sin. Like, holy God, holy shit, man. Like,
those lyrics. So let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question before you move on, because you hit on listen to your sin.
Okay.
Have you ever tripped? Ever?
Right. No.
Now read everyone the lyrics to that song.
Nope. To listen to your sin? Okay.
Because now hold on. Before you start.
Okay.
When I listen, I actually have a recording of this because he sent it to me, and I play it in my car all the time because I love this song, and I've never asked him this question, so I just got the answer to it right here, live on the Chris and Mike Show podcast. Amazing. I thought that he had some kind of experience in his life with hallucinogens, because when you listen to the lyrics of the song, someone who has never been there, done that, described exactly what you feel when you're under the influence of hallucinogens. So read everyone the lyrics to listen to your sin, my friend.
Did not know that. Okay, so here you go. I got a dream, and it's hard to read these without singing it.
Well, sing.
I got a dream for the common man. You got to fight until the end. I got a dream, and it's quite clear. We're going to fly and disappear. So drop the tablets, go insane. Feel the juice flow through your veins. On your journey, take it slow. Choose the place where you will go. Take the trip behind your eyes. Feel the sorrow beneath your cries. Take a moment. Oh, shit, I forgot about that part. Take a moment. Listen to your sin. Fight the battle that you must win. Fight the battle that you must win. Oh, listen, baby, to your sin. Yeah. Now your journey has come to an end. You haven't found solace to your sin. You keep on fighting, waiting for the day when you close your eyes and it fades away. It's weird to sing that without music right there. You ain't no preacher, ain't no praying man. You turned your back on the Almighty's hand. You got a dream in your life to keep on soaring every night. Take a trip behind your eyes. Feel the sorrow revolutionize. Yeah. Take a moment. Listen to your sin. We'll fight the battle that you must win. We'll fight the battle that you must win. Oh, listen, baby, to your sin.
Yeah.
Something like that. So, yeah. I didn't do that song justice. I apologize.
It's hard to do that song justice without the music, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm gonna look.
The music builds, and I'm in no way comparing myself to Kashmir, but the music builds in a way that Kashmir builds. It kind of leads you into it kind of leads you to believe it's going somewhere, and it kind of never really does, other than one moment where there's a different guitar solo. There's one moment in that song where the whole vibe of the song changes. And now that I listen to the lyrics again, the first half really describes a hallucinogenic trip to a T. And I used to take the second verse personally in that we were trying to do what we all loved night after night after night, right? That's how I always played that song every night in front of the crowd. Was the second half of that song to me was a very personal, this is what we're trying to do to get ahead, and do what we want to do every day.
Yeah. Yep. So I just found Free Man.
Oh, I love playing that one too. I love playing that one.
Your mom's favorite Vision.
She loves that song. That was her favorite.
Never Again. Yep. I don't know why. And again, that's the one with about Roger Klein and when he was in when he was in the Refreshments. That's the one that Scott was like, dude, you say I don't know why way too much. I'm like, dude, you can't say I don't know why way too much. Or Satisfied. No, wait, yeah, I don't know why. I don't know why. Will you ever be?
There was something in there that annoyed him.
He's like, dude, you say I don't know why too much. Yeah, right.
Just play the drums, man.
Yeah, right.
But that was pretty good, in all those years. That was his only complaint ever.
Right. Yeah, this is cool, man. This is cool that I found that. I knew where it was. I wasn't sure what crate it was in, because I have like 4 crates out there. I have stuff.
So I guess
title.
I guess we should say, for the people who are not watching the video, he's leafing through his lyrics that he's been saving forever. So sometimes we got to describe things to people, because not everybody watches the video. A lot of people are just got their phone in their pocket or whatever. I got to get better about describing things that we're doing that are visuals.
Right. Exactly.
But I would say, what else do you got there? Refresh my memory.
I got to go back in the bag. I think I have in the lyric bag. I had told you I found. What is it? Where'd it go? Remember full circle spin?
I remember the title.
It's kind of cool because there's notes. I would write notes along the sides of them as we were structuring the song because as we've talked about before, I'd bring in lyrics.
I hope there's chords.
Sometimes
there.
I'd bring my notebook. There's not on that one.
Oh shit, that's not good. See, that's what was in my folder.
I would bring my notebook in. Right. Yeah, I'd bring my notebook in and see if this is the notebook or not.
Yes, one of those boxes of, I guess, what was considered fucking junk had everything that you're holding in your hand, only it was music in my language because I don't read music, but I had a very good system for making it make sense to me, just like you have right there.
That's awesome.
Yeah, but I don't have.
This is the beautiful thing about our show. It's completely unscripted for those of you watching. I mean, only in America would somebody be digging. This is such a big no-no when it comes to any type of media, TV, radio shit, digging through stuff.
Well, let me tell you, one of the biggest compliments that
so much fucking shit, dude.
One of the biggest compliments that Jake gave us was that it was real. It felt like you were just having a conversation, which is supposed to be the point of this podcast, because one of my favorite things about being in a band, or probably the most cool thing about being in a band other than playing the show, which is obviously the coolest thing, for me was hanging out with all you guys and all the other musicians and the sound men and the light men. I was into the whole scene. Like, a lot of people are in it for chicks, and that's fine. But I was in it for the power, the volume, the show. And then afterwards, I loved the conversations that we used to have about life and just esoteric things, shit that people didn't talk about every day.
Yep.
What's the meaning of life? Why are we here?
Yeah.
Want to get high? I mean, what's the meaning of life?
Right. What the fuck was that? Oh shit, the storm is finally coming. So we're getting this river of rain.
I've heard.
In Arizona for the next 2-3 days, and it's finally here. It's finally here, and I just heard something slam shut, so I think my back door slammed shut or swung.
This is a big deal in Arizona, folks. I lived there for 20 years. When it rains, people get excited.
Yeah, it's going to fucking be...
But if it rains too long, then people get pissed because then it floods.
Yeah. Yep. It's going to flood. So yeah, this is another notebook with just lyrics, man. Just this, and this is one of those things where I'd come into practice, you guys would be jamming on something, and I'd pull out my notebook and like, oh, I wonder what this would fit,
So what I will say
is
for all the future up and coming singer songwriters, the reason that Chris got the gig so quick is he showed up prepared, and that's 90% of the battle right there. Right. Obviously you have to know how to sing to be a singer in a band. That just seems like a given. If you want to be a plumber, it's a good idea to know how to plumb.
Right.
But the reason that we said yes to him in a nanosecond was he showed up with all this stuff. He was prepared. He had lyrics ready to go, and then he wrote probably, 30, 40, 50 more songs while he was in the band. So not only did he bring 100 songs with him, he wrote a bunch of songs while he was still in the band. So if you want to be in a band, the best advice I can give you is be prepared. If you're a singer, write songs. If you're a guitar player, play everything you have 1,000 times and then play it 1,000 more, and you might be ready to get on a stage. Because when you step on that stage, that's worth about a year's worth of practices every time you do it.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
right? It's a whole different experience.
Playing a show live, because you no, because you fuck up live. You don't. The only people that know you fuck up live is the band.
Yes.
The audience, what they're hearing for the first time, they don't know. They don't realize that. Holy shit! They don't. They don't realize that what you did was
That's
a fuck
awesome.
up. This is my cover art because when I used to push the Mike Michaels band,
You and
it
he's
was
still
probably
pushing
in
that.
color. It was the
2024.
CD was called. The CD was called "Losing the Madness," which is very fitting. Hold on, I got to get my fucking readers on because I'm old now.
Yeah, I gotta have those too. So I appreciate you knowing that I can't see anything.
So this was this. Right. So this is how I laid it out for the Mike Michaels band, titled "Losing the Madness." Our thank you was the Mike Michaels band would like to thank the following for their support in the production of this album: Dr. John Daniels, which was Jack because he and I were on a speaking name. Mr. Marlon Burrow. Who's Mr. Marlon Burrow?
Marlboro.
Oh, Marlboro, because you smoke Marlboros.
Like
Holy
they're going out of
shit, man,
style.
I'm fucking hilarious. So here's the order: Listen to Your Sin, Vision, Free Man, Nothing Man, I Don't Know Why, Kill and Marry, Under Open Skies, Intervention Divine, Black September, and Losing the Madness.
Dude, I remember
So,
every title, but I don't remember all the.
Mary.
I remember every title. I don't remember all the music.
I don't remember killing. Yeah, I don't remember this. I don't remember the song "Killing Mary." Something to look that up. I remember that. I vaguely remember "Under Open Skies," and I don't remember Black September. So I will have to look those up and see if they're in this folder. Again, I'm going through this folder, ladies and gentlemen.
Hey, what's the White Zombie song?
Andalusian Dog Marketing.
Black Sunshine.
No, it's the Black September.
I know.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking we had Black September before Rob Zombie had Black Sunshine. Just for the record.
Yeah, we were ahead of our time. Yeah,
there's no question about that. We were told that all the time.
Okay, here you go. Oh, you're going to love this. Wednesday, October 9th at 9 p.m. Desperate Angel at the Mason Jar.
So that would have been one of the first gigs you played with us.
Yep, and then here's another one where we got really classy, man. We went into the A game. We got a stamp with our name on it.
Yeah, because Scott and I got tired of writing Desperate Angel April 2nd at 9 p.m. 500 times.
Yeah. Right. That was the Electric Volume. That was the Electric Volume. That's where you and I met, right? Yeah, that's where we met.
Yeah, we met at the Candlebox show at the Electric Volume.
The music voice. I think I just found the review, the music voice. I don't know why I would save this if because remember we got reviewed one time.
Yeah, that was always a.
I wonder if this is the one. Which it's pretty stellar to be reviewed where the whole issue is based on Rush, and if we got reviewed, that'd be pretty fucking cool.
We got reviewed quite a few times in Music Voice, New Times.
Yeah. Yep.
What was the publication that Scott questioned you as to whether you actually wrote the first one? Do you remember that?
I have no idea. I don't remember now. I remember he asking me, and I'm like,
yeah, the very first time we got written up, he was like, I wonder if Chris wrote this.
Yeah. No, I didn't have that kind of creative, outside of the box thinking back then. I would do it now. Do it now.
Well,
with your surname.
I remember looking at him and saying, if he did,
think it was
genius. It was just very well written.
I think being when I worked for the newspapers and shit, we would edit anything that came in. So it's not like we would keep what somebody sent. You keep their idea and then you edit the fuck out of it because
sure
you have to make it readable. Got to be able to read it. Oh fuck, dude! It's a Desperate Angel flyer.
Where was that for?
October 8th. That was we did back to. That was Mason Jar. We're doing back-to-back shows. We did the ballroom October. I'm sorry, we did ballroom October 8th. Mason Jar October 9th. So we did back-to-back nights. For more information, please contact Mike Michaels 943-1935. Oh, I found our set list. You ready?
Hold on 1 second.
Our set list.
Two things.
Okay.
I never knew we played the Mason Jar.
Okay, two things.
I made balloons come up by doing that. Two things. Anyway.
Really?
Balloons just came up. Either that or Anyway.
Interesting.
So I never knew we played the Mason Jar as Desperate Angel.
Yeah, we played the Mason Jar.
And for the folks listening at home, the Electric Ballroom was a big deal. That's where Chris and I met. Candlebox played there.
Yeah.
Vince Neil played there. Cinderella played there. LA Guns played there. We opened for the Romantics there.
Marshall Tucker Band. Yep.
The Romantics, Talking in Your Sleep.
Yep.
I think that. No.
Oh, yeah.
Is that the Romantics?
Yep.
Yeah. Anyway, whatever band sings that song, we opened
What
up
I like
for
about
them.
you. What I like about you. Yeah, and what I like about you. What I like about you.
Yes.
You keep me warm at night.
So we opened for them on
singing drummer. Never want to let you go. No, yep.
We opened for them on the big stage, and then we opened for the Marshall Tucker Band on the small stage. This club was so big, ladies and gentlemen, it had two clubs in one. Yeah. One side held about 1,000 people, maybe 800.
Yes.
And the other side probably held a good 325. That's where the Fender Showcase room was, which is where Chris got mentioned as doing the best version of Roadhouse Blues that person had ever seen that wrote for the newspaper. Unfortunately, Mike Michaels was not on guitar. The mighty Ray Stone was.
Mighty Ray Stone. But I think that was more. I can do Jim Morrison like I can do Jim Morrison. Like I'm not. Holy shit, dude! You just fucking mentioned the Romantics. Romantics. Kick and 106.3 FM presents the Romantics. What I like about you and Talking in Your Sleep. Good job, Mike.
Yeah.
Marshall Tucker Band. Yeah.
Yeah, we opened for them too.
We did the ballroom. Yep. There we are. Marshall Tucker Band. Holy shit, dude. Marshall Tucker Band with the Voodoo Dudes, Desperate Angel, Breeds Z, Morrissey, Terror Shane.
What was the last one?
Yeah, the fucking genius I am, Breed Z, Terror Shane?
Dude, I remember those two bands.
Never heard of them. See, here's the cool. Like we were around when the Funk Junkies were around.
Yeah, they were amazing.
I remember them. They were cool bags. Zigzag
Black.
I didn't realize at the time, but I went to high school and I went to elementary. Yeah, I went to elementary school with one of those dudes in Zigzag Black, which I never realized at the time until later.
If I could have been in any other band at that time, I would have wanted to have been in that band. They were fucking cool as hell. They just kicked ass, man. They reminded me of Corrosion of Conformity. Sacred Reich.
Yep.
Opened for them probably, I don't know, 100 or 200 times.
Fucking this. Dude, pagers, 1995. Get your pager here. And you can get really advanced, the Bravo Flex pager for $29.95. Woohoo!
I had a pager.
Offer expires June 12th, 1996. So did I. The handwritten set list, because I started handwriting them, and then I evolved, and I started printing them, and then dating them on the bottom.
Okay, what's that set list, and what's that date?
Show, Freeman, Vision, Roadhouse. June 9th, 1996. Freeman, Vision, Roadhouse Blues, Never Again, Under Open Skies, Nothing Man, Cat Scratch Fever, as sung by Mike Michaels. And then we closed the show with Listen to Your Sin. And then we would always Intervention Divine it if we had room for one more, because that was our estranged song.
Okay, so we played this Under Open Skies live.
Uh-huh.
Did this song not last long? Because I don't remember that one. I remember the title. I just don't remember the song at all.
We may have changed. Yeah. I'll have to look
have
it
that
up.
flyer.
I'll have to look it up. I'll through. There's so much Yeah, there's so much more of this stuff, dude. I'll have to go through it all and see if I can find that lyric.
That's my friend Todd Smith.
Every song we had, I ended up right on.
Shout out to Todd Smith.
I ended up writing everything on the on the computer. Oh fuck yeah, that's a cool one right there.
That's a good one. At the Ming's Rock venue, that was a Chinese restaurant.
Yeah.
They had a rock club on one side and a Chinese restaurant on the other.
Yep. Nothing wrong with that. Yeah, this is a trip, man. This is like going back in time. A lot of the stuff I have is magazines from announcing the shows and shit. What's cool is this shit lasted. Like the beautiful thing about giant Tupperware containers, man. This shit's been outside in one of my barns since we moved in over here. So the fact that it's still like legible and just good, which just said, oh fuck, on the back of an addendum, okay, on the back of a real estate addendum, I wrote a song. That's some funny shit. There's some stuff in here in the back of it, the back of MLS listings, man, because they would go too far. That's another song I wrote. Oh yeah, Looking for Tomorrow. Yeah, there's a whole set of more shit in here, dude. Crazy Man. Music by Connors and Michaels. Take Me Now, Baby, As I Am, Simple and Free, A Crazy Man, I Got No Thoughts to Think, No Memory. Choruses, The Rhythms in My Mind, Voices Call Loud, I Got a Heart of Stone. I'm standing on my knees, beckon to my vengeance, so take me now, take me now. In this world, man, it's filled with pain. I gotta find my claim to fame. I gotta be, don't you close your eyes on me. Baby don't, so take me now as I am, simple and free. I think that evolved into something more, but that was the original scribing of that song.
Did that become Free Man?
I don't know. Possibly. I'll have to look up Free Man and compare it. Listen, my friends, I got a story to tell. It's a tale of darkness, so listen very well. There's a man escaping from within my mind. Molecules are trapped like a moment in time. Illusions of tomorrow are haunting me. Yesterday, pain of misery. This is totally be a rap song. Man's diaries are haunting me. Yesterday's pain, my reality. Well, I'm on my way. I gotta find the place where I can be free. And then a lot of our shit I had improv, because then you guys would let me just fucking take off on stage vocally. That's a cool song too. Biography. There's Never Again. That was a dark song. There's nothing, man. What can I say? Oh, I see. What can I say? I had a bad day, sipping on a bottle, just wasting time away. 'Cause I don't know what I've been told, and I don't know just where I'll go. I live my life, I take it day by day. Share my time, it'll never fade away. 'Cause I ain't perfect, ain't the chosen one. I find my peace underneath the sun, yeah. Guitar solo. This is what happened. This is the crazy man part. So take me now, baby, how I am. Leave the rest, separation of sin. Take
it
now,
became
baby,
nothing, man.
Be. I chose my soul and eternity, right? Yeah. Now I lay 6 feet to rest. I got no regrets, man, nothing left. Just a time that was spent in vain. Just a soul crying out in shame, 'cause I don't believe in the afterlife. You hated this line. And I don't believe in Jesus Christ. I don't believe in the common man. And I don't believe in the government's plan. I don't believe in yesterdays. I don't believe in social praise. And I don't believe in histories. I don't believe in societies, yeah.
Now I believe every lyric of that.
Nothing, man. It's all I am. It's all I am. Huh?
Now I believe every lyric of that.
Say again?
I said, now I believe every lyric of that.
Yeah.
They evolved.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Now I want yeah, here's the end of it. Now I want to apologize for my life. I want to apologize for damaged lies. I lived my life the only way I could. I gave my soul as no other would. Took my times eternally. And man, I'm grateful for my misery. It taught me well about my history. It taught me well about my insanity. That's that journey we would take people on. Then it got so fucking high and just rock and roll, man. But the chorus is badass. I don't believe in the afterlife. I don't believe in Jesus Christ, which I do for the record. I don't believe in the common man, and I don't believe in the government's plan. I don't believe in yesterdays. I don't believe in social praise. I don't believe in histories, and I don't believe in societies because I'm nothing. I'm a nothing man. I'm a nothing man. That's all that I am because I'm a nothing man. Nothing man. Nothing
But
man,
there's
that's
plenty
all
of
that I am.
people
Yeah.
out there
That's
that
fucking badass right there.
there's plenty of people out there today that still feel that exact same way.
Yep. That's what I'm saying, dude. Relevant. Do I have a date on this fucking thing? Because that would be badass. Yes.
Well,
April 1996, Mr. Michaels.
yeah.
Fuck. 1996 and it's still relevant today. Topical. Topical. Relevant. This song has no name, but you're going to recognize it. Yeah. Oh, fuck yeah. Dude, the drums on this thing. Everybody. Listen to me. Right?
Oh, yeah.
I'm going
That's
to
the
tell
one I
you
had him do that
how it's
tribal
supposed
beat
to
to.
be. Yeah.
Those lyrics are awesome.
Yes. Yes. Free man. Free man.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah. I'm going to be a free man. I'm going to fight until the end. This is the original scribing. So this was written at practice, probably.
That's the
Like,
very first
on
song
my
we all
little
wrote
paper.
together.
So everybody listen. Oh, right on. And there's a note on the side, fifth song harmonica. So we had a harmonica in this thing somewhere.
Oh, it was the fifth song on the demo.
Tell me where.
And you always wanted me to keep the original harmonica that Mike Hagstrom played on the original recording. It was ghosted in the background of the
right on.
track, and I was going to cut it off, and you were like, no, leave it in there, man. It's cool. I dig it. That's what that note's from.
It's like I can hear shit when I'm writing it. Yeah. Oh, gotcha. Okay. Yeah, so at the time, this song has no name because they had no name at the time. So with everybody listen to me, I'm going to tell you how it's supposed to be. I'm going to be a free man. I'm going to fight until the end. I'm going to find the answer here. I'm going to make it all quite clear. In this world today, we all get betrayed. Like a brother of mine, he's got a brainless mind. I'm going to choose the road I take. I'm going to be the one to escape. I'm going to fly to the heavens above. Fuck, I love this singing this song, dude. I'm gonna be the choice. This was such a badass song musically, man. Like I can feel the stage presence. You know, people tell me how to live my life. Preachers tell me about the afterlife. I'm gonna make it if I can. I'm gonna beat down the man. I'm gonna fly with the eagles above. I'm gonna be with the lonesome dove. I'm gonna ask the questions why everybody's. I'm gonna ask the questions here why everybody's gotta disappear. Listen, children, to my mind, I'm a victim of senseless crime. I'm going to tell you about the afterlife. I'm going to tell you what happened last night. I'm going to tell you about my insanity. I'm going to tell you about my misery. That was such a fucking great song, dude. And
Absolutely.
Not just lyrically, just everything that we did with that just fucking, just reading that, dude, it's like, fuck, that was a good song. Such a good song. There's the original fucking pen of Listen to Your Sin, man.
Yeah, so when we were
original
writing
fucking thing of Listen to Your Sin.
Free Man, that's the time that Scott told me that nobody ever asked him to play more drums. I told him to hit them harder and play a lot more. I didn't know the word tribal yet, you know? I was fucking stupid, you know? I grew up in the middle of a cornfield.
It wasn't a thing.
I didn't know anything about tribal. So all I knew to tell him was, I need you to hit those drums right there a lot more and a lot harder. And he just started laughing. He's like, nobody ever told me to play more or hit them harder, but I can do that. So he started playing that rhythm that you know and love. And I was like, yeah, that's it. That's what I want to hear. Because there's not a lot of guitar in that song. It's the same three chords. It's like AC/DC.
Yeah, but fucking what a song, dude. What a fucking
it kicked
song
ass.
that was, man.
No question. I agree with you 1,000,000%.
Oh, and
it was so much fun to play.
So here is the first. Dude, all that shit was fun to play. Here's the very first poem I ever had published in high school. that's when everybody's like, holy shit, Chris has a soul, man.
That's awesome.
And they just thought it was this dude. Want to hear it? It's pretty cool.
Absolutely.
It's called A Touch of Gray. In the early morning mist, as the sunrise steals the sky, we see a gentle person walking slowly by. Her kindness and caring fills the sky with life, with no need for sunlight, for her love is oh so bright. Living her life, taking it day by day, for all the friends she's made makes her wealthier every day. As this day goes on, the sun sets far below. We all know she's leaving as time has told us so. No idea who that was fucking about, but that was a hell of a poem.
That's awesome.
Holy shit, this is the fucking... Okay, so this is the entire Welcome to My Mind catalog that I wrote. Fuck. Welcome to My Mind 1 and 2. That's crazy, man.
So
that is fucking crazy.
When you and I first met, that was one of the first things you wanted to do.
Yep.
When we got up and rolling as a band, he shows up at my apartment.
Part
and he's
2.
Like,
right.
I want to write part 2 of this epilogue that I have. Yep. And I want crazy
and I have it right there.
Music in the background. It's going to be a spoken word. And I was totally down for it, but I had never really dove into anything like that. I didn't understand it. So you kind of walked me through what it was, what your vision of it was. Like, you had an amazing ability to put into words for me to visualize it as music. And I don't know any other way to describe it other than that, other than you could speak a language that I could understand. I could not understand it. I could translate it into music. It was just...
Right. Yeah. And I've told you that before, that of everybody I've ever worked with musically, you're the one person I could walk into the room and say, here, I wrote this song last night. And by either the end of practice or the next time we had practice, you'd have music for it. And then we would bring it to Scott and Rick. And then all of a sudden we had a song. Nobody else has ever been able to do that in all of my years of writing music. And, you know, that's the one thing we just had that, man. It's just, I don't know what it was about us. We just had that.
To answer a question
that you know,
to answer a question that I get asked a lot, which is, if you love it so much, why don't you still do it? To Chris's point, it's not that easy. A lot of things have to happen in the right order at the right time, or it never will happen, because it's not enough to be a good singer. It's not enough to be a good guitar player. You have to have an X factor that nobody else has that makes you stand out from the crowd. And I'll tell you what mine was. He just described it.
Yep.
If you ask me to describe an emotion in words, I used to be tongue-tied. So this podcast has helped a lot with my being able to convey into words what I'm actually hearing in my mind, which I didn't do a lot, and I was bad at it. So I got misunderstood a lot, because I'm not angry. I'm not a mad person. But if you ask me to describe an emotion musically, I'll do it right now. Ask me how I feel. I'll play how I feel.
Yeah.
If I'm sad, it's going to sound sad.
Right.
If I'm happy, it's going to sound happy. I know how to convey things musically, and that was my gift. When we wrote a song called Window of Hell, it's just such an intense song, because it's a guy evaluating his life at the end of it and realizing that he's fucked and this is where he's going. And Chris describes it in a way that just blew my mind. And I thought, when this solo comes up, I have to take over for what he's conveying to the audience right now. And the best compliment I ever got was from a guy named Toby. I can't remember his last name. He was a guitar player for a band called the Diesel Dogs. We opened up for him at Joe's Grotto. He came up when we got done playing that song that night, and he's like, dude, when you hit that solo, all I saw was like bones crushing. And I don't know any other way to describe it other than all I saw was just bones shattering all over. And I hugged him. That's all I knew to do. I just grabbed onto him, and I'm like, I love you right now, man. because that was the biggest compliment I had ever gotten
saw
as a
Window of
musician
Hell.
from somebody I didn't know.
Yeah.
Like, I love you right now, man.
That's awesome, dude.
It was.
That's fucking awesome.
That's when I knew that I was
now
actually.
now that you say Window of Hell, now I want to. Oh, there it is. I found it.
That's when I knew I was actually a composer, not just a player.
Yeah. Well, we were all composers because we created music, and that's what composing. I keep looking away from the screen.
You're good. Just make sure you're
Window of
talking
Hell,
into the microphone,
like
because you don't have a condenser microphone this time.
Right. I found this is my mic. This was my stage mic, man. So, Window of Hell, I got a feeling within my mind. It makes my soul withered and tired. When the days are long and the nights stand still, my soul is lost in a window of hell. With all the daggers thrown at me, and then I scribbled out and wrote something. It's hard to see my misery. I still feel the pain inside. It takes me on a different ride. I got a feeling that this is the chorus. I got a feeling that I'm going to die. I got a feeling that I'm not sure why. I got a feeling that I'm going to die. I got a feeling that I'm losing my life. As I sit alone and drink the wine, I unlock the chemicals within my mind. Ooh.
Yeah.
I look into the mirror of mankind. I question everything. The answers are sublime. And I don't know if I'll make it all night, and I'm not sure if I'll make it through the night. My soul is lost in the window of hell. I repeat that twice. I got a feeling that I'm going to die. I got a feeling and I'm not sure why. I got a feeling I'm going to die. I got a feeling I'm losing my life. Then there's a solo. My soul is lost in the window of hell. And that's why I think I would just improv that on live. Just my soul is lost in the window of hell while you were jamming out and shit.
Yeah, so that's where I had to take over, was that guy's most desperate moment. You know, you read those last two lines again, that's where I took over with the solo. And I'm like, this has to be impactful. It can't just be a wanking contest, you know? It has to mean something. Because this guy just reached hit the point where he knew he's fucked.
Yeah, I got a feeling that I'm going to die. I got a feeling, and I'm not sure why. I got a feeling that I'm going to die. I got a feeling that I'm losing my life. And then the solo comes in.
Yeah.
And that's the one cool thing I will say, and that when I would write shit, right? You would think it was going to be the same words, but they weren't always the same words in the chorus. They would rhyme, but a lot of times there'd be different words on different phrases just because of the concept I was trying to get across. So
yeah,
as long as it fit,
I dug that about your writing.
In the pocket, it worked. Oh, thank you.
Those are things that I picked up on. I wasn't big on.
That's the one thing.
Yeah. You know what? I always say that I wasn't big on lyrics back then, but I remember almost every lyric to every song you ever wrote. So they apparently meant something to me. And I don't really remember a lot of lyrics to a lot of other songs.
I will say, aside from the council, I remember everything we wrote once. Especially like you just saw some of those songs, I just pulled up the lyrics and the melody, boom, right away. I mean, and I can hear the music. Too bad I can't describe it, but I mean, just the opening line of some of those, all of them, really. It's just the melody's still there, which just tells you how much we put in it and how many times we played it and grinded it out. And I think we still always played a show like it was the first time we ever played those songs, even though we got better and better every time, because it was that mindset that we have to win over fans. Every show we have to win over fans. We gotta build our following. We gotta build our more tickets we sell, the more shows we get, the bigger venues we play, because that's how it worked back then, boys and girls. It wasn't, let's go home and get a computer thing, garage band, whatever the fuck technologies, and like Billie Eilish, let's build this entire thing in our basement with our brother and then release it.
We did not
we had to actually go out and play to get better and get better and get better. No.
We did not have this technology.
That's what I miss about music nowadays.
To Chris's point, the nice thing about this technology is we can write and record a song for you right here. But the reason that ours will hopefully be better is because we played thousands of times together.
Yeah.
We played at least 1,000 shows. And the thing that I cannot impress upon people enough is we were not weekend warriors. So if we didn't have a gig that night, we had practice. There was no ifs, ands, or buts. There were no days off. We all took the week between Christmas and New Year's off, and that was our vacation every year. Every other day of the year, we were either at practice or we were playing a gig. So that went on for years. You can imagine how many times we played these songs. That's why he's able to just rip off a melody like it's nothing. But you have to be that prepared, and that's why we got to open for the Romantics and the Marshall Tucker Band and LA Guns and Seven Dust and Sacred Reich so many times we can't count them. Enough's enough. Pat Travers. That was my
Tony MacAlpine.
That was my horrible experience because he was one of my guitar heroes. No. I got to meet him before we played, and he was so coked up that he was just a total dick, and it broke my fucking heart. So that's my Pat Travers story. I don't hold it against him because I've been there. Kids. Don't do drugs, kids. It turns you into a dick. Well, you have to define what drugs are. Don't do cocaine. Don't do methamphetamines. Don't do heroin. Don't do pills.
Right. Don't do heroin. Don't do fentanyl. Right.
You can mess with the legal marijuana. You can mess with the mushrooms. They won't hurt you. Try and stay away from the acid because you got to know what you're doing.
Because it's legal, man. You know,
the weed and the mushrooms will not hurt you at all. They will not kill you. You may wish you were dead if you do too many mushrooms, but they will not kill you. And if anybody needs a guide,
and nothing, but
I'm your guy. I can't stress that.
Give you some lyrics to songs, and you can read it, and it'll take you. So that's a trip that listens to your sin, knowing that I never did any type of hallucinogen that encapsulated your journey with acid. That's a trip. Dum-dum.
It does. I can't stress that enough. That's why I listen to that song so much, because for anybody who's ever tripped, good or bad, and they listen to the lyrics to that song with the landscape of the music behind it, it totally captures what you're thinking for surely on your first trip if you have any kind of conscience. Because for me, the first time I did it, to your point with I didn't like the line that you sang back then, I was pretty indoctrinated into the church.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. I was very indoctrinated into the church back then because that was how we were raised, and there's nothing wrong with that. Part of the reason that I'll back up 1 second. I just had a 3-hour conversation with a very good friend of mine who needed to talk. And one of the things that I couldn't impress upon him enough was I wanted to figure out life so bad for myself that I moved 2,000 miles away from everyone I loved. It's not because I didn't love them anymore. Right. It's because I didn't want to be influenced by anyone for any reason. That's how important it was to me to figure out life for myself, because you don't find a more independent person than me. So it wasn't that I didn't care about them or I didn't want to be with them anymore. And, I know they had their own questions, so I'm answering it right here. I just needed to figure life out for myself and what it meant to me. So fast forward to my first hallucinogen experience. The only part that freaked me out was you do feel like there's something wrong with what you're doing until you get there. And I can't stress that enough. If you've never been there, don't talk about it other than it's freaky for someone of your skill set as a songwriter and a poet, lyricist, to be able to capture something that you've never done. That's amazing.
Well, the Laddie.
That song would be a hit today.
Oh, there's I think 6 of our Vision, Free Man, Nothing Man, Listen to Your Sin, Intervention Divine, Window of Hell. I don't know why. All those had hooks. All those had great riffs in them. All of it had just a really big fat sound of music behind it, and I think all of them. I think our debut album would have been one of those things that if it got picked up by the right radio station shit, because that's a big if, but if it was played, I think it would have took off. And
well, we would have been
where we'd be right now.
Unfortunately, right about the time that Metal Blade had expressed their interest, things came to an abrupt halt, and I guess in hindsight, we probably should have done things entirely differently, because my answer to the person that asked me why it ended was the same as it always is.
Right.
For whatever reason that we decided to go in that direction at that moment in time and not give you the time to take care of whatever you were dealing with was the biggest mistake we ever made, because everything got worse from that point forward. We got better gigs for a short time.
Right.
Yeah. But had you still been there,
but Rick and nothing to,
that whole rocket ship was ready to take off. Rick, if he was here right now in the middle of us having a three-way conversation, and I hope to do that one of these days, get him on here, he would admit, man, he did the best he could with what he had.
That'd be cool. Yeah.
You were the way I described it to the person that asked the question was, you were a force to be reckoned with, man. You commanded a stage the way a front man needed to, and you can't just replace that. Even if Rick had been the greatest singer on the planet, it's not going to replace the charisma. Right. If we were failing in any way, you knew how to draw a crowd back.
Yeah. That's just because I'm stubborn, man.
Well,
but see, part of that too is because a lot of it was what I did before we found each other at the ballroom when I was, and for those of you who don't know the story, the Candlebox was playing and I was singing along with Kevin Martin. And after every song, this long-haired hippie dude would turn around and look at me and give me a look like "shut the fuck up," and then we'd kind of chuckle, whatever. And then the next song would come on, and I would sing it verbatim, and he'd fucking, as soon as the song was over, he'd turn fucking back around like, really? What he was doing, more now looking back on it, was like, holy shit, this dude behind me can sing. He's singing.
Yeah, I wasn't pissed at all. I was impressed.
That's not a fucking easy feat, right? That wasn't an easy feat by any way, shape, or form. Because back in the day, Kevin Martin was the fucking shit, man.
He had a great voice.
So half the stage goes out with electrical issues, right? And Mike turns around again and hands me this business card. Are you a singer? And I'm like, I don't know. And that's how we met. And then I think I called you a couple days later. And then, like you said, I went to practice with my bag of lyrics, and that's like fucking game on. So yeah, I came prepared, but there was no apprehension from me because I already, quote unquote, auditioned for you without realizing that I was auditioning for you, because I was just having a good time singing along with Kevin and Candlebox. So it'd be a little bit different, I think, if I showed up at the practice pad and fucking, you never heard me sing before, you had no idea what my range was, you had no idea what I was capable of, and then, well, here's my bag of lyrics, man. You know what I mean? I think it would have been different. It would have been a different thing.
Because thinking back on it,
but I already in. Mm-hmm.
When I went to Scott's the night after the Candlebox concert, I think my exact words, or very close to my exact words, were, "Our prayers have been answered." I was like, no more looking for a singer. That's why we met you at the bar. All he cared about was that you guys vibed together. Yeah. And that you didn't give him a creeper vibe, because we had auditioned so many singers and so many bass players, and so many of these guys you could tell were living out of the fucking trunk of their car. They stunk, and we had probably, I don't know, $15,000 worth of gear in there. Vintage Marshall amps and Fender amps, and
sure. Mm-hmm.
Eventually, Scott was actually playing Eric Singer's drum kit for those of you at home that don't know who Eric Singer is, he's currently the drummer in Kiss and has been for, 30 some years. So not the original, but he's a big deal. So Scott actually bought his drums. He left them at Jason Rainey's apartment, and Jason said, for $600, just get them out of my apartment. Brand new, double bass, beautiful. Yeah, probably a $2,000 kit back then, you know? So
that's awesome.
Yeah, I would say that you had the gig from the get-go. We just needed to get drunk with you once, and that didn't take long. And I think we went back and wrote Freeman that first day.
I think, yeah. I remember. I don't remember meeting at the bar, to be honest with you, but I remember the first practice going in.
That's because we got drunk.
Like, okay, this is cool, And I always liked when we would jam, and then we'd take breaks and we'd sit on his stoop, if you want to call it a stoop. And we'd bullshit. You guys would smoke, and I'd read shit, and hey, I got this, I got that. What do you think about this? And we'd talk about what we just played, and game plan and shit. And we'd go back in and jam again.
Yeah,
we'd jam until Carrie told us to fucking stop. I think for the most part.
Yeah, we got cut off when the kids had to go to bed.
Yeah, which worked good would be because we just had Sky or we were about to have Sky, my daughter. So, that always kind of worked out well because then I wouldn't get too much shit from Nikki.
Well, I can tell you one thing.
And truth be told, I
can tell you one thing about those kids. Not one of them is afraid of loud noises.
Mm-hmm. No, and they shouldn't be.
They had a heavy metal band or a rock band in their living room from birth.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Right? Yeah. Yep. Well, so you were going down the path of the end of Nemesis.
Well, that's eventually why it ended. Was there was nowhere left to go without the vision that I had in my head. Once again, I'm no Jimmy Page, but I stole a lot of ideas from him, and Led Zeppelin was something that he saw in his head.
Steals everything from everyone.
So, and the only concept that I stole from him was it's all for one, There, without you, there was no Nemesis. Mm-hmm. Without me, there was no Nemesis. Without Scott, there was no you. There, we were not interchangeable parts because, to quote the mighty James Hetfield, who just quoted this recently, independently, we are not that great of musicians.
Yeah,
we're average players. So are we. But together, we were magical.
But together,
we were magical.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what Metallic is. He said, we go in there and we hammer it out, and something happens that I can't tell you in words what it is. I couldn't tell you what it was for us. It just worked. And it was beautiful because there were no egos. There was no arguing. There was no, I think, I should be able to do this that way, or why can't I do whatever? There was none of that. There was, do you think this would benefit this section of the song? Or occasionally Chris would say, I like this part for my verse and I like this part for my chorus, but you guys are calling it the opposite. And Scott and I would be like, we don't care what the fuck you call it. Just, you call it what you need to call it, and we'll just play the music. Do you want us to play it in the same order, different order? What do you want? We just want to jam, man.
Yeah. Yeah. And that, yep.
We were true musicians. The problem with a lot of bands, to put this into more psychology terms, is somebody wants to be what somebody else already is. So we didn't have anyone that wanted to be you. Nobody wanted to be Scott.
No.
I know Rick wanted to be a guitar player, but he was super happy being a bass player in a working band. So he never bitched about that.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and I think the other thing too is, from a band standpoint, you have to know your lane, but you have to have a bit of an ego with you, because like like, I know I'm not the greatest singer in the world, but I also know nobody can do what I do.
Correct.
Nobody sounds like I sound like, so it's the same concept. Nobody could do what you do as a guitar player, and nobody sounds like you sound like, because you had your own unique tones, you had your own unique ways to approach writing a song, and the different effects you used. The same with Scott.
It's all right here.
How Rick played, like we talked about before. Right.
It's all
like
in
we
your
talked
hands.
about before, once Rick came in the band, it changed. Right. And some of the shit that Rick played changed what we had already written without a bass player.
Yes, it did.
And then all of a sudden it's like, holy shit, there's a bass, there's an underlying. So that was the beauty. That's the beauty of, I think, bands that stand the test of time, like the Metallicas and the U2s and I can't even, like Rush. They and I'm not comparing us to any of those bands and Led Zeppelin until John Bonham died, but everybody knows their role.
The uniqueness.
You don't go in. We never went into the right. We never went into it thinking, oh, we're gonna be, we're gonna be Van Halen ish. No, we're gonna be Nemesis. We're gonna be Desperate Angel. And until I watched a video of Pearl Jam and I saw Nemesis on the screen, I'm like, oh, dude, we're changing our name to Nemesis.
Thankfully.
But that's just it. We're just the band. We're just, we just, wherever it took us, it took us. And yeah, it was taking us somewhere. And I had shit to deal with, and so I parted ways. And perfect scenario is like you said, you would have told the Metal Blades dude, hey man, Chris needs 6 months. Like, reel it in. 6 months. Let's circle back around. But true to form too, I could have came back to you in 6 months and said, hey dude, I'm ready. Let's go. Let's do this. And I did.
Correct.
For whatever reason, it's just like, to me, the door was shut, and it wasn't shut like fuck you shut, but Rick stepped into the role, and that was it. So then, 6 months later, I would have been like, hey, I know you guys are playing with Rick now, but I want to come back. And that would have been awkward for Rick. And, it's one of those things. It's one of those musical. There's not very many things I regret in my life, but this is the one. Looking back and knowing what we did as I read lyrics and shit, knowing what we had accomplished in such a short amount of time, that we would have filled a space in the music industry that was filled by another band that we were just as good as, if not better. Vocally, I had a better range than the band I'm referring to. But we would have filled that gap right there, because it was the same time that when Creed exploded on the scene, that was like our thing. Like, that's when that was around the Metal Blades introduction, I think. And, short time after that,
we had that idea long before they did.
Creed because right. And that's the only reason I ever compare. I don't compare us to Creed. I kind of, I put us in the same category because Stapp writes the way I write. It's about life. It's about going through struggles, and it's real life shit. It's not, never again's about the fractured relationship with my brother and I. Nothing Man is, and the personas that I would take when I wrote the songs, like the lyric in Nothing Man, I don't believe in Jesus Christ. Me personally, no, but the Nothing Man doesn't believe in shit. He doesn't believe
Correct.
in anything. He's just a motherfucker going through life with not a care in the world, and he's stepping on everybody he comes across.
Think of the Unabomber.
I don't remember. Right. Exactly.
The Unabomber was
another
the man.
mindset I had when I wrote that. Exactly.
He checked out.
That's the thing, is it's yeah, totally. Window of Hell was probably pulled because all insanely creative people have doubts with who they are and where they're going, and
boy howdy,
the insecurities and things. We've talked about it before, the vulnerability of a lyricist, coming into a room and saying, here's my soul.
And it's the same
I'm
for a
trusting you with
musician.
my soul on paper. You're going to have to. Yeah, exactly.
Because
and I think
the difference,
the hardest thing.
It is the difference between a weekend warrior and a cover band, or even if you're a touring cover band.
Yeah.
The difference between somebody who's playing somebody else's music and having the balls and the ego and the I'm good enough to sit in a room and create music with other musicians who are good enough to play on a stage with a national act is a whole different level than I'm going to go jam with my friends in the basement And at one time that was scary enough. You know, I can remember going to my first jam session here in the town that I live in now with a couple of my buddies that I went to school with. And I realized that I really sucked really fucking bad because they probably weren't that great either, but they were a hell of a lot better than I was. You know, I couldn't keep time and I didn't know where the chord changes were. And I'm like, fuck, I got a lot to learn to play with other people. You know, this isn't as easy as it looks. Now, fast forward to, I think I'm good enough to put a band together and write my own songs and get on a stage with people who have not only done that, but sold millions of records. It takes a hell of an ego.
Right.
And then you got to keep that ego in check.
And that's the one. Right. And that's one cool thing about what we did as a band. Like, back in the day, you know, playing on the same stage as Marshall Tucker Band, it didn't even strike me as anything odd. And now looking back at it now, it's like, holy shit, that was a fucking Marshall Tucker Band.
Yeah.
And then playing in the Mason Jar and standing on stage where so many fucking amazing acts came through. And, you know, just mind-boggling. There's no history like that anymore, man. There's no fucking clubs that have, like, the Mason Jar had that history, the wall, the pictures of all the artists and shit, you know, the
Nirvana, Stone Temple Pilots, Green Day, Tool.
Right.
Nemesis, Sacred Reich.
Everybody that was anybody had right. Everybody that was anybody at some point in time before they were somebody, they came through the Mason Jar, or they came when the Tempe music scene was doing what it was doing. It was the Mason Jar. It was Chewy's on Mill Avenue. It was that open air auditorium. Creed played there. Pearl Jam played at this weird little outdoor venue between Chewy's and a couple other restaurants. And I know I can see it in my head. Like, you know, 200 people could get there, and you just pop a band on the concrete stage, and which is really just a staircase going up to a platform.
That was a great place to see a show.
Every national act in the 90s that's where they all had to come through to pay their dues. And if they did good there and drew there, then they would go inside to the Jar. They'd go inside to Chewy's, or they go inside the ballroom. They do good there. Then they come back 3 months later, and then they're playing the Mesa Amphitheater, and then they do good there. You know what I mean? It was like this stepping stone. Every city had these stepping stones, and all these stones that Phoenix Tempe had were,
you're kind of describing, it's going to help people that know me now and only know me from moving back here. They can't believe how many concerts I've seen in my life.
Okay.
So what you just described to them was all within max 40 minutes from where I lived. So really, a lot of the venues that he just described were like 25 minutes from my apartment. So to his point, if Pearl Jam was going to be at this place, I would just buy a ticket and go by myself. That's how I met him. I bought a ticket to Candlebox because they were playing at a club right down the road from ASU.
Right.
I didn't have anybody to go with. I just bought a ticket because I wanted to see them. I dug their music. That first album I still listen to on repeat to this day. So I was like, I want to see him.
Too.
I went and saw him. So
fucking
I saw literally hundreds of shows by myself. There were so many venues in Arizona at that time. I'm sure that's not the case now.
Oh, there's a ton of venues. No, I don't know what the case is now. Somebody's on my door. Hold on. I don't fucking know who that is. Some weird dude tried to interrupt my podcast.
He knows it's podcast.
Walking around in the rain. I don't know. Well, the funny thing is that's the second fucking person that's been walking around the neighborhood today, and obviously heard me talking, but because my side door window is open, now he's going across the street.
So
fucking weird solicitors, man.
With everything that we just said today, let me say before I forget, because I think about this a lot, it means more to me than you could ever know to be sitting here talking to you, doing this podcast. It's a fucking blast. I'm glad that we're able to reconnect on a level 100%. That we were able to when we were being creative. I'm not saying we're not going to be creative musically, but it's just been fun to kickstart that. You know, it's really, to your point, when we were talking through text messages, it's really triggered the left side of my brain. I've wrote a lot of really cool riffs here, at least recently. So I look forward to
Yeah.
this day every week.
Yeah, and we're gonna. I do too, and we have to. I mean, we talk about it, but we really do need to put some of our original shit back together. It's going to be hard without Scott, but we need to get Rick back involved.
Yes,
because I'm sure Rick remembers some of those bass lines, and you know, I know a drummer here, Jesse, that played in Council. That's if he'd be willing to kind of jump on board.
Well,
he's a fucking great drummer.
I think Rick would be an asset to you recording wise too. If one of us gets back in touch with him, you guys still live in the same vicinity. So Rick knows a little bit. Maybe more than a little bit about recording software and stuff like that. So if I were to send files to you, he might be able to be of help to you getting your vocals down.
Okay. I'll poke at him. I'll track down William Richard Carr III and see what I can accomplish.
And I could use his services in the bass playing department. So, yes, I can play bass if I have to, but I am not the greatest.
Yeah.
I'm passable.
I know my lane, man. I sing the songs. I write the songs and I sing the songs.
I can play bass.
That's what I do.
But a real bass player would be like, that's a fucking guitar player playing bass. Come on now. And I get it. They're entitled to their opinion, and they're accurate, so I can't argue that. It's just funny.
Yeah. Yeah. This is a good show, man. I'm glad I found my bag. It was good to open that up on the show and fucking go down that line of the musical journey. You know.
Well, and maybe that's what we'll dub these particular sessions, because I can't express enough how much that was one of my favorite parts about being in a band, was just the hang afterwards, talking about the show and music and life. And, I know a lot of it had to do with the fact we were all 22 years old, but
sure.
It's still the same, it's a different conversation with a musician than it is with a mere mortal. It's just different,
Well, and the fact that we're able, I mean, I can't speak for me. I mean, I can speak for me. I can't speak for you, but I think you'll agree with it that it's, aside before this podcast, we connected a few times a year, but
correct.
It's almost like we just picked right up where we left off, even though we're being, Illinois and Arizona. It doesn't, to me, it doesn't feel like there's ever been a gap in time, because we spent so much time together in practice and on stage and playing music and creating, that you just fall back into that. Like, I don't have that with Council. Like, there's no way in hell I would have this ability to pick up where I left off with any other guitar player I play with. And there's only been 3 or 4 of them. But Council being, the Hollow Council being the one band that, actually tried to go somewhere. Not that we didn't, but you know what I mean? We had that opportunity, and if it wasn't for the one guy that fucked it all up with his ego and shit. But I couldn't sit down in a room with him right now to save my life. Like, if my life depended on it, he might as well just fucking kill me. Jesse, I could, the drummer, Jesse the drummer, I could,
I literally just had this conversation with
Josh, absolutely. I've run into
different people in the last week.
Really?
What you just, and I said verbatim.
That's
I was
crazy.
like, it was like we never, we didn't sit down and talk for 2 hours before we did the first podcast. I was like, we just started talking again, like the first time we ever met through the last time we ever talked, Yeah. And I described it just like you did. I said, we talked a couple times a year. He'd call me up or text me or whatever. How you doing? Make sure you're still alive. So we've always been in touch, but to talk
trying to get you to write some music, because hey, because like, hey,
and
I
wrote
this song. Let's come up with some music, and then
I just wasn't ready yet. I hadn't worked out all my shit in my head yet.
It is what it is. Now you are.
Yeah. Yeah. Look, I'm sitting in. I'm sitting in my studio.
Here's the change. And here's the funny thing about technology now, man. All my songs I write. Come on, fucking phone.
Yep.
Even the book I wrote, Legend of Charles Lee Lang, I wrote it on my notes on my Mac or my iPad, but on my notes section of my phone is my songs. Like I just got to scroll through them, and I'll see a song like, oh yeah, I wrote that song. You know.
Yeah, for those of you that don't know, in the listening audience,
I wrote you.
Chris is a published author, and I'm saving that book for the next time the power goes out and I don't have a fucking thing to do. Because it'll happen.
It's an easy read, from what I've been told. But this is one I sent you. It's called Trigger. Just another day, just another Monday. Routine is the same. I'm the only one to blame. Stepped inside the space to power through the rage, keep my thoughts at bay till this fucker got in my way. She didn't hear what I had to say. In the wrong spot, frustration turns to rage. And then the chorus was, listen to what I say. Open your ears today. Listen to what I say. Get the fuck out of my way. Back to the verse. My life is a habit. It seldomly changes. If you wanted to kill me, no need to be creative. That's the truest statement I've ever written in my life.
I like that.
Same spot every day, same time, never change. I have my routine. Don't take that away from me. You stupid fucking peasant. Do you realize what you did to me? This is my solace. This is how I am free. My daily grind and pushing keeps me in peace. And it goes back to the chorus. That's a fucking angry ass song. And the whole reason that came up, this is how I write. Something happens and it triggers me. And then my outlet is to write about it. So that was a motherfucker at Orange Theory. I went to work out. I was still in my boot because I broke my foot. So I could only stay in one spot the entire workout. For those of you who don't know Orange Theory, it's interval training, 60 minutes. You have in my studio, there's 15 treadmills, there's 15 rowers, and there's 15 spots on the floor. So you spend 23 minutes on a treadmill and then 23 minutes going either weight room, row machine back and forth. Well, when I was in my boot, I could only do upper body and core because I was in a boot. I couldn't run, I couldn't treadmill, I couldn't row. So I would go I'd go into my spot, station 10 or 11, because it was a corner and it was out of everybody's way because I'd be there for the hour. And I would grab, 4 or 5 different weights because I would do all kinds of core work, shoulder work, whatever. I would do what Orange Theory had me doing in the weight room. But then I'd have another, half an hour to come up with shit. So I went in, number 10, dude wrote it down, number 10, and I said all the way down, meaning that I'm on number 10, rower, treadmill, and weight room. So I go put my gear in the weight room spot. I think I go to the bathroom or something. I come back out. Everybody had gotten off the rowers and moved to the weight room. When doing so, there was somebody standing in 10, so I went and looked at the sheet. The motherfucker didn't block down 10 all the way. So that fucking triggered me because we've talked about it before. Working out is how I deal with my addiction. It's how I find my happiness and my peace on a daily basis. So if I don't work out every day in some level, and to me, dealing with my yard for 2 hours is a workout too, because I'm out there sweating, grinding and stuff.
But it's serious for your mental well-being. But
that motherfucker triggered me, and exactly. And as soon as I wrote that, I sent it to you. I texted it to you. I'm like, hey, dude, I wrote this song because there's nobody else for me to send my shit to. Like, I won't send it, like, legitimately. There's no other guitar player on this planet that I've worked with that, number one, I'm still in contact with. Number two, that I don't have any fear sending you anything I write at any given time, regardless of what it's about. And you don't know what it's about. You don't know the background behind it. It's just, here, dude, I wrote the song.
But you know that had you not
You've
told
always
me
just
that,
embraced that and accepted it.
You know that had you not told me that story, you would have got some angry-ass guitar riffs for those lyrics.
Absolutely.
Now that you've told me
the dynamic that we have, you can
now that you told me the story, it just reinforces in my mind that I was thinking in the right direction. I don't take credit for being.
Yep.
The one thing that I also pride myself on is I don't take credit for being a good guitar player. I am actually probably the most self-deprecating musician that ever lived that's been playing as long as I have, because a true master of the guitar understands one important lesson. You're never done learning. You can't master it.
Right, no, agreed.
You're a master when you give up the fact that you will never be a master. said by
Yep.
Jimmy Page, said by Les Paul,
Yep.
said by Jimi Hendrix. There's no figuring the guitar out. It's a lifetime of exploration.
Mm-mm.
So the way that I have fun with
Sure.
it is somebody like you who can you can paint words that creates an emotion in me that I can spit out into music. It's a beautiful thing. It really is.
Yeah. I like that paint. I like that painting words. Painting words. Let's call this a day. I got to pee. Let's call this a show. It's whenever we call it a show, it's usually because I have to pee, ladies and gentlemen. Just saying.
Today
and we didn't prepare a top 11 list today, so we're just going to leave you hanging.
Oh, man.
Go ahead.
No top 11 list today?
What? I didn't do one. We didn't talk about it. It was, we just didn't do it today for some reason.
I don't know why. Pop in with a surprise or something.
No, I didn't. We talked about it a couple weeks ago about all these different ones that related to music and stuff, but we just, for whatever reason, it dawned on me like, oh shit, we didn't do one.
I'm going to red flag this show as the one without the top 11 list.
The one without the top 11, we could go top 11 our favorite Nemesis songs, but that'd be kind of hard,
No, they don't have to be in any specific order.
Yeah, this is true. So you got to have Listen to Your Sin, Nothing Man, Free Man, Intervention Divine, obviously, is in there in the top 11.
I don't know why.
I can't believe, dude. There's even whiteout on this. There's whiteout on this fucking thing. You can't see that, but there's whiteout on it. I'll scan this and put it on the page. I don't know why. Absolutely.
Vision.
I loved Vision, yeah. And I don't know the name of this song, The Alone I Sit, My Sorrow Is Spent, but it's, it's a cool song. What else do we fucking got? Let's see. Window of Hell, Free Man.
Yep.
Nothing Man, Vision, Never Again. I don't know why. That's a fucking good song too, man. I like the thing I like about it, I don't know why. I like the melody they came up with because it's so catchy.
It was.
And then Sinful evolved into Nothing Man. It took its own little thing. One of our later songs, Americans, I want to be an American. It's a more government. I don't really remember that one too much, but I know it was something we were working on. Fuck, there's so many, dude. Yeah,
I'll
find a way. Remember that one? I gotta find a way to make it through another goddamn day. Gotta find a way to make it through another day. See the photos on the TV screen, Anchorman talking about the obscene. 2 little kids lost their way, man in the mask took them away. I gotta find a way to make it through another goddamn day.
I think it's pretty evident that we were broke and times were tough.
Yeah. Read the news about the master plan, took his shots, erased the man. City of fear, no time to pray. Man with the gun, gotta take him away. I gotta find a way to make it through another goddamn day.
I remember that chorus.
And I'm not a big believer in saying I'm not a big believer in saying "goddamn" because I've always been taught that it's taking the Lord's name in vain.
Yeah.
But it calls for it. But it calls for it. Certain things just call for it. It's not out of anything other than just it kind of calls for it. Some things just have to be said a certain way for them to have the impact that you want them to have.
Yes.
Yeah. So yeah. So I don't know. That's what I got for the day. That's what I got.
Mighty fine job on the YouTube page. So for those of you who don't know,
Oh yes,
there
boys and
is
girls.
a
Yeah.
new YouTube
Yes.
page that I'll let Chris tout because he did a fantastic job on it. I love it. Looks very professional. So tell the boys and girls about the YouTube page.
It's at Chris and Mike Show on YouTube. Just go search at Chris and Mike Show. We'll pop up. You'll see our fun little caricature that I had created. And all the videos are on there. I'm been uploading some shorts. So after the shows, Mike puts the episode together, and then he does a couple of little shorts. So you'll see those pop up. We do have, I think, 8 subscribers now, which is cool.
Yeah.
So go subscribe to that, like some videos, things like that.
And you can release episode 14
yeah, it's
now.
at YouTube. Yes, I'll do that. So yeah, there you go. It's at Chris and Mike Show on YouTube. There's another Chris and Mike Show, but they're not as cool as us, and they haven't done anything for several years. It's 2 dads, I think, doing something for their kids, which is cool. But they're not as cool as we are
and we're here every week.
Hey, it's me, it's Chris, and that's the guitar guy. So there you go. All right, so I'm gonna go. I really got to pee. So, boys and girls, thank you for listening to us today. Remember, you're not alone. So, you're struggling. Get out of your head. Go find somebody to talk to, regardless of who it is. And next time that we have our show, I will have eclipsed my 19 years sober. That's
Congratulations.
my 19-year chip. Every year thank you. Every year I get a new chip. I give the old chip, the previous year's chip, to Nikki. So that's why I have my 19-year chip, because it came earlier than it was supposed to. So she has my 18-year now. I have my 19-year. So there you go.
Congratulations. That's amazing.
Without any booze, man. It is amazing. Thank you, Michael. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Love you, brother.
Anything else you want to add?
That's it.
Love you too, man. It's always a blast. It's always fun talking to you. I enjoy it. I enjoy it.
I
All
agree.
the friends out there, thank you for listening. I keep telling Jake. Oh, yeah. And I found this thing. I'm not going to read it on air because it'll embarrass him. But in my notebook, I found this note that Jake wrote to Mom and Dad, August 15th, 2008. So I'm going to share that with him. I'm like, holy shit. It's in my lyric books, because I stole his booklet, man. I stole his book, and I started writing fucking songs in it. Like, some reason, either that or he took it, and then I used it for lyrics, man.
Did I tell you I reached out to
about
Jake?
Lyricists, man. We'll fucking grab anything. No.
Okay, so real quick, here's my conversation. I said,
do tell.
I said, hey, Jake, hope you made it back safely, which was my major concern. I said, our Japanese contingent is still at 1%. You're supposed to be spreading the word of the Chris and Mike Show over there. Don't let me down, Marine. So his response was, hey, thanks for reaching out or something, or thanks for getting a hold of me or something. Good to hear from you, brother. I told him he was welcome back on the welcome on the podcast. So he said,
sure,
that he's currently making us legendary, I think was his word, over there. So I expect to see a surge in the numbers if he's listening to this. So far, I've not seen that surge.
There you go.
Don't let me down, Marine.
Yeah, I'll poke at him again. I'll remind him. I told him the other day, like, subscribe to my YouTube channel, son. Like, come on, man. All right, but seriously, I have to pee, or I'm going to pee my pants. So, boys and girls, this is the lead singer stepping exit stage left.
Peace.
We'll see you.
We're out.